Good evening. It's our Wednesday night product experience and training call. My name is Keith Hooper. I'm here in Central California. We're joined this evening by our good friend Dr. Barry White out of Ontario, Canada. This is a call that we do every week for Immunotech distributors where we share information about the products from Immunotech. And once again, we want to put the caveats in that the products from Immunotech do not cure anything. But as Hippocrates said some 2,500 years ago, let food be thy medicine. And simply the most important food you can use is Immunocal and Immunocal Platinum. And we're going to cover a lot of great information tonight. As of about 30 seconds ago, there was an email that went out of the system that you got, that all of you that get the emails where you've registered on xyztools.com, there's an email coming out, and there's a link to what Dr. White and I are going to be talking about here tonight in just a moment. Good evening, Dr. White.
Good evening, Keith, and everybody else, of course.
Oh, I tell you what, it's you and I have had some interesting conversations in the last day or two. You know, it's interesting because all those years ago when Sandra and I came to Immunotech, there were three things that stood out to me. And at that time, when this was a couple of months before Immunocal became available to the public, but there was already a patent of use on Immunocal as an immunotherapy for the treatment and prevention of cancer. The animals that were fed Immunocal lived 30% longer than those that weren't, and that had already received a generally recognized as safe by the FDA and the same type of classification in Canada, which means the product is safe to use every single day for all of our lives. So, you know, Dr. White, 1992 or 1993, I believe that patent was issued on Immunocal as an immunotherapy for the treatment and prevention of cancer. Am I right on that?
Yeah, 93. And the interesting part was, in Dr. Summersall's book that has about Dr. Bunos and so on, it was in that they recognized that Dr. Bunos could be in line for a Nobel Prize for this magnificent discovery. And it hasn't been issued so far. It may have got issued to somebody else. But the whole part of this was exciting news that a food could be used as an immunotherapy. That's just magnificent, you know, astronomically magnificent.
Well, and when you read the patent, as you pull up that patent on Immunocal, and there's a number of them, so you know I didn't put a link to the specific patent, but what's interesting when you read that patent is what it talks about is that it raises the glutathione levels in the cell, thereby you know, activating the T cells, which, you know, are the killer cells for cancer. And yet it normalized it so you didn't have an abnormal response from it and all the stuff that's in there. It's very complicated as you read the patent. But that's what this patent was issued on, which was the treatment and prevention of cancer. You know, we've looked at all of the years that we've been here with Immunotech, and people have taken Immunocal. They've had serious health challenges. We're going to talk about cancer tonight, folks, because this call is intended for the exclusive use of Immunotech distributors. This is a training call. This is not intended for customers. This is not intended for people that are thinking about joining Immunotech. This is information that we share here because, you know, you don't need to know an awful lot to buy insurance. You don't need to know an awful lot to buy insurance. But if you're gonna market insurance or sell insurance, you need to be well informed, and that's what these calls are about: is being well informed on the nutrition side of what we have here with Immunocal. So, all those years ago, you know, we have this immunotherapy. No one knew what that word was. You know, immunotherapy. What are you talking about? It's just an oblivious word out there. But over the years, we've seen, you know, people take Immunocal. They've had cancer. They've had these other health concerns, and they get a very, very positive response from that, of taking Immunocal. And, you know, once again, the scientific part of it is back to the patents of raising their glutathione levels, you know, activating their immune system to do what it's supposed to do, Dr. White.
And that's the crucial thing about this. It sounds simple. It is very complex, but it sounds simple.
Yeah,
and the simplicity of this is simply this, that when you have an immune system that's ready and willing to work on your behalf, it can take care of all sorts of things, including the cancer part, or viruses, or tumors that are not cancerous. But there it is, sitting on the shelf, ready for you, and it was developed strictly because of an inquisitive mind and a superlative skill of Dr. Bunos those many years ago.
Absolutely. So, we look at this, and I go back to the conversations that I had with Dr. Bunos. Immunocal, our cancer is a result of an overwhelmed immune system. Those were his words to me. Cancer is a result of an immune system that's overwhelmed. Now that can be, that can be because your immune system is weakened and you're exposed to some kind of a carcinogen that if you had a normal immune levels, it wouldn't be that. Or it could be something where, you're exposed to something that just literally is going to overwhelm your system regardless. Okay, so, there's a number of issues there, toxins and, maybe you're exposed to some type of radiation or whatever it happens to be. But the idea was, that Dr. Buno said, is that, if your immune system operates properly, because as we've talked about, there's about 1.5 million cancer cells in anybody's body on any given day that's engaged in mortal combat with your T cells, Dr. White. You've spoken to this often.
Yep. 500,000 to 1 million are produced every single day within your body. Sometimes it's just cells that go awry and don't get formed properly. They come from the stem cells, which you've probably heard about, and they misform. It can be from the radiation and all sorts of things like that. But nonetheless, every day, 500,000 to 1 million brand new cancer cells are in everybody. This is not an occasional person that gets cancer. It's in everybody. And you need an immune system that, like a Pac-Man, just gobbles those cancer cells up and destroys them. That's what's happening every single day in our body. It's war, people. It's war that's happening inside because your immune system are the soldiers on your side.
Absolutely. So, what we're gonna move to another segment here, Dr. White, on the same vein. Because the Nobel Prize in Medicine was just awarded to 2 doctors this last month, and it's really kind of interesting. So I want everybody to keep this in mind. 1993, there was a patent issued on Immunocal as an immunotherapy for the treatment and prevention of cancer. We now go to either September or October. I'm not sure exactly when they gave out the Nobel Prize in Medicine, but it said the headline of this article that the people that get the emails regarding this call, you just got it in your email or will be getting it shortly. There's a button there that you can press and you can open up a PDF of this, what we're talking about here. But the article's titled "A Cure for Cancer: How to Kill a Killer." Revolutionary work on the body's immune system and a host of new drug trials mean that beating cancer may be achievable. Last month, the Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded for 2 breakthrough scientific discoveries, heralding as having revolutionary cancer treatment and fundamentally change the way we'll view how cancer can be managed. It goes on. The Jim Allison for his breakthrough advance in cancer immunotherapy. His discovery had resulted in the transformative outcome for patients and a radical new direction for cancer research. This is they think this is new stuff, Dr. White.
It appears to be new in the eyes of medicine, but here we are more than 20 years ago, having already put this on the market for us. And we who have had, I've now had it for 21 years, and my battle for cancer is being won every single day because I use Immunocal Platinum in my regular dietary choices.
So, it's amazing. So once again, I'm going to encourage all of you that get this, open that link, print it, so that you can read this entire article, because it's very, very interesting on what they're doing. But what they're doing is one of the things that they're doing for this cancer treatment. Now, once again, they're dealing with people that are at stage 4 cancer. They're introducing a substance that supercharges their immune system. One of the things that Dr. Bunos was concerned about was that you didn't want to do that. Okay, you did not want to supercharge your immune system. You wanted to normalize it. And once again, what we have with people is it's after about the age of 25 or 30, your glutathione levels start to go down. When your glutathione levels start to go down, you do not have an optimized immune system. You take Immunocal and you can optimize your immune system, not supercharge it. But you know, Dr. White, as we read through this and looked at the things that were here, one of the things that they finally admit in here is that the cut and burn and poison is at best 50% effective. What they've been doing, the cutting, the burning, and the poisoning, okay? So the cutting out, the radiation, and the chemotherapy is at the very best, 50% effective. That's what I mean. That really stood out to me.
I think they actually misplaced the decimal place, and it's closer to 5%. But nonetheless, we'll let them have the 50 in the article.
Right. So it goes through there. I mean, we're going back through this. So like I say, everybody will have received this in just a few minutes with this. But, you know, for us with Immunotech, when what you have here, when you start to talk about immunotherapy, and someone says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, they just awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine, as it's the killer of cancer is immunotherapy. The patent on Immunocal is an immunotherapy treatment for the prevention and treatment of cancer. Key word, I think, Dr. White, to that patent is the prevention part. Okay.
Yeah. And here's the interesting part about the patent. It doesn't specifically talk about cancer A, because there's more than 300 different kinds of cancer. It doesn't talk about a specific one, which these chemotherapies are often targeted to take care of one or two or three of the many 300 and some cancers. This was a blanket. It was in general, when you raise your glutathione with Immunocal or Immunocal Platinum, it's a blanket to make sure or give you the best possible chance of killing all those cancer cells that are developed every single day. So it's a generalized thing, and none of these breakthrough things, which each of these treatments cost $1 million, and sometimes they have enormous side effects, toxic side effects that can kill the people as well. But those treatments are $1 million. And here we are. Sometimes people occasionally complain about a $100 retail dollar for a package of Immunocal compared to $1 million. Wow, we are getting the greatest bargain on earth by comparison.
Absolutely, and once again, as those of you that get the email, as you scroll through it and read it, and I do really recommend you print it off and get it. This will not be available anyplace else, and that link will disappear as of probably Friday. So if you haven't printed it off, you won't be able to get it. But what I thought was interesting in this article, because once again, what do we know about Immunocal? Generally recognized as safe. What does that mean? It means that the government has determined because of the test results that you can take this product every single day for the rest of your life. What do we know with 23 years of people using Immunocal? That they get the positive results. But what this tells you when you read it is it gives you, in layman's term, because this is not a medical document, this is more like a press release, but what it really does is tell you why the people taking Immunocal that have cancer, that have these other things, why they're getting the positive response and what's going on here. But what's interesting with this scientific breakthrough that they gave the Nobel Prize in Medicine for, okay, guess what? It's not Immunocal. It's not the precursor for glutathione. They're actually taking out your red blood cells. They're manipulating them and turning on the T cells and and blocking the off switch where they won't turn off, and then re-injecting it back into your body. And as it says, immunotherapy is not a free ride. There are toxicities that occur with T cell responses unleashed. Okay? That's one of the things that's key. We don't have that, but they do with this cancer treatment. The other thing, there is also the economic toxicity of bespoke cancer treatments that being about durable remission, but cost upwards of $1 million. $1 million for the patient. Okay? So, this therapy may be out there. This therapy may become available. Do you really think your insurance company is going to pay for it? I don't. Okay? In fact, I can guarantee they're not going to. Okay? And that's a bold statement. But it's $1 million. And so when you just do the math, I was watching something, Dr. White, in the province of Saskatchewan, there's 54 people a day being diagnosed with cancer. So if you looked at that, it would be a drain on the province of Saskatchewan of $54 million a day just to treat cancer. $54 million a day just for this one treatment that would be on that budget. Okay, that's $1.5 billion a month. You're looking at $18 billion a year just in the province of Saskatchewan for this treatment. Or somebody could take a couple of packages of platinum a day. Which one do you think is more likely that people are going to benefit from, Dr. White?
I would guess if they understood, well, all we have to do is say, yes, let's go find out. I mean, that's that simple.
Right. Yeah. But I also think that at the very end of the article where it comes down, several doctors tell me that the goal of treatment, if a cure isn't possible, is holding on for the next breakthrough. And if and when it comes, here's interesting, patients and doctors need to be ready to understand it. After all, says Chin, there's nothing more useless than a therapeutic breakthrough against cancer that people don't know about. 1993 patent of use issued by the United States government on Immunocal as an immunotherapy for the treatment and prevention of cancer. I don't know what the dates were in Canada, Dr. White, but I'm assuming they were 1993 as well.
Yeah, it's the same, yeah. And just to understand, this is a medical patent, not a formulation patent. It's unique in the use of food and so on. There's only two basic patents. One of them has to do with Immunocal, and the other has to do with our Serenity. But those are medical patents and nothing else on the market. No place, no matter what they say, there's no other patents like this on any other product in the world.
Absolutely. So once again, I'm going to open the lines here in just a moment, but I do want to put the caveats again. This is intended as a training call for the exclusive use of Immunotech distributors. It's not intended for potential distributors or customers. This is a training call where we can open and talk freely about it. The products of Immunotech research do not cure anything, but as Hippocrates said some 2,500 years ago, let food be thy medicine. Once you think about that, Immunocal doesn't cure anything. What's the patent say? For the treatment and prevention. That's what I think is most powerful, Dr. White. Before I open the call, any thoughts you want to add?
Yeah, just in general, when a person is diagnosed with observable cancer, and the smallest tumor that can be detected, for example, in breast cancer, is 3 million cells. That's the smallest we can detect. When that is detected, all right, as soon as I hear that word, I say 4 packages per day of Immunocal, preferably 2 Immunocal, 2 Platinum, but nothing less than the 4. Something less than 4 may slow it down, but with the 4 combination, and it can even be 4 Platinum, is your best chance for getting ahead of it. A lady just called down below, and she's got observable cancer. She's been taking 2 packages, 1 plus 1, of Immunocal and Platinum, and she's the doctor keeps checking her monthly, and the markers are going up slightly, and she's not at any risk, and the doctor doesn't need to do any chemotherapy yet. And I simply say, get ahead of it. Go for the 2 plus 2, and see if you can't cut that off and get the markers to go to drop back as well. So that's just a general comment. 4 packages a day are needed in order to get ahead of cancer.
Absolutely. So once again, this call is not to be recorded, captured, done anything with. other than as for the training, and we'll do some other things with it possibly.
Has such enormous value, and it doesn't cost $1 million a box.
There's nothing more useless than a therapeutic breakthrough against cancer that people don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being with us this evening. We appreciate all of you very much. Mm-hmm. Once again, next Wednesday night, same time, go to xyztools.com. Make sure you're getting the emails about these calls. With that, thank you all for listening.